There's no need to remind everyone that Formula One has as much drama on the track as it does off the track. But this latest edition of the Formula One gossip circuit has seen the calmest garage under the threat of a driver swap, engineer change, engine change, and even a possible change of ownership. You see, back in 2018, when billionaire Lawrence Stroll bought Force India and later rebranded it into Aston Martin, he did not know of the countless ways in which his son was going to let him down. Even if there were some people who believed in his racing talent, it all went downhill when two-times world champion Fernando Alonso joined Aston Martin to not only consecutively get on podiums, but he also showed everyone what the car could do and what Lance was doing, namely losing. So if the team is really doing all so badly right now, why is it that, according to a Bloomberg report, Lawrence Stroll is looking to sell out of a minority stake of the racing team and so many people are also queuing up to buy it? Lance Stroll might be his beloved boy, but inherently, the billionaire came into Formula One to make money. Buy low, sell high, and now the time is right. Aston Martin's team principal, Mike Crack, recently announced the extension contract of Fernando deep into 2026, saying Fernando is hungry for success, driving better than ever, is fitter than ever, and is completely dedicated to making Aston Martin Aramco a competitive force. And he's right. Fernando's been constantly challenging the top four teams. It's as if he's never aged one bit. Then there's the new transition to Honda. This multi-year agreement with Fernando takes us into 2026, says Crack. When we begin our Works Power unit partnership with Honda, we look forward to creating more incredible memories and achieving further success together. So in this frantic run to create the perfect deal for any buyer, Mr. Stroll Sr. even went after Adrian Newey. But according to senior F1 journalist Peter Windsor, who noted, you throw £1 billion at him and it's not going to make a lot of difference. My understanding is that he's already rejected that, so I'd be surprised if he goes to Aston. A recent article on Formula One Insider suggests Mr. Stroll has lost the motivation to keep funding his son's career, with the driver's own mother reportedly applying pressure on Stroll Jr. to end his career at the end of 2023 after a number of accidents, including a big hit in qualifying at Singapore GP, which ruled him out of the race. Talking about that crash, there is then another bitter tension brewing between RB's Ricciardo and Stroll.
He's not even looking at me. You can see his helmet, he's looking at the apex of the corner.
It's as if the crash and parking under an opponent car just wasn't enough, because Aston Martin steered clear of giving even the slightest rebuke to Stroll, which then emboldened Stroll to throw all blame on Ricciardo, further heating up the paddocks.
The car in front of me just stopped right in front of me. I had nowhere to go.
So much so that in an interview, Ricciardo was heard saying, I slowly started to calm down, and then I was told what Lance thinks of the incident. Apparently, I'm an idiot and that it was my fault. That made my blood boil, because it's as clear as day and it's also behind a safety car. I'm doing my best not to say what I want to say, but that guy. To make matters worse, team principal for Aston Martin put the whole blame on the stewards for making quick decisions. And let me tell you, nobody liked that. But still, the crashing continued when at the turn 1 of Miami sprint race, Lance took out Lando.
I guess today we paid the price of being back with some of the people who are a bit more careless.
If you still haven't figured out the general sentiment towards Junior Stroll, Danish racer Jason Watt in an interview said give him the sack immediately, and that Alonso is driving alongside the worst driver in the field. So when the public calls Stroll a nepotism kid, the pundits call him the greatest paid driver of all time because his dad is paying all the bills, and he is unable to prove them wrong with his performance, which keeps getting worse by the season. It looks bad for his dad too, who is continuously under fire for creating a toxic work environment at the Aston Martin garage. From inside, it looks as if Lance can get away with almost anything he does, and then the rest of the team, including the other driver, have to make up for all of his shortcomings. First, the difference between Stroll and Alonso becomes self-evident when Stroll goes out in Q1 pushing physiotherapists out of the way. Alonso makes it to Q3 regularly in the same car, which makes Stroll quite unpopular, even hated on on social media platforms, further screwing with the driver's head and further dipping his performance. And it's not all on him. There is some role of his dad too, who goes around saying publicly that he's a father first and a team owner second. But then again, Stroll himself also never shies away from acting like a spoiled teenager. Like in a recent interview, when somebody asked him questions, he replies with, "Yeah, shit, I don't know, keep driving." And after saying these 7 words, he stormed off. So I guess now may be the time when Lawrence Stroll packs up with AM Racing and asks his son to pick a new hobby. Because interestingly, as much as the move will hurt the Canadian's feelings, his father could not have asked for a better Formula One outing. Thanks to the immense popularity he gained during his Formula One entourage, Lawrence Stroll has built up the street cred to get into crazy business ventures and then also pulling them off, like the billion-dollar 66-story residential tower at the Miami coast that he just completed on May 1st of this year. And if not for just the investment side of things, leaving Aston Martin and taking his son with him might be another strategic move. Not only will it save him from becoming a laughingstock if his Stroll continues to perform bad, but emptying the seat out for a driver like Ferrari's Carlos Sainz or Perez is also a sure way to negotiate a higher price for the team if he really wishes to sell it at one point. Without a doubt, Lawrence Stroll is a motorhead himself too, but this does not mean that he will cling on to it simply because of his love for fast cars. Like I said, he already owns a big chunk of the parent Aston Martin company as well. So until all of this is cleared, and of course, time will make it clear, there remains much ambiguity about the destiny of those talented drivers who are still up for grabs. So, ladies and gentlemen, Formula One goes to Italy next time around, and it will be interesting to see these controversies evolve over time as Lance struggles to get himself out of the bottom 10. Ricciardo aims to come back into his 2018 form, Lando trying to continue his top of the podium ecstasy, and Verstappen rears to retake his first to be interviewed slot.